Hey guys, this is Jessica Gutierrez with Clean With Me podcast. This is a podcast where I walk you through cleaning your house step by step. So let's clean together. Hey everybody, so I have been super busy lately. I was helping my friend move and she had a lot of stuff. She was in a rush to move, so a lot of stuff was transferred in boxes and just kind of, thrown together. And I want to talk a little bit about organizing, and there's going to be some moving tips along with it, just thrown in, but I want you guys to think about an area in your house. It doesn't necessarily have to be a bedroom. With me, I recently organized bedrooms, and I've had a couple people ask me to do something about organizing bedrooms, but this will work for any area that needs organization, whether it's a closet, a garage, any area that really needs some attention from you and decluttering, because it's overwhelming sometimes. And a lot of times when we have an area or a room or even a drawer, everybody's different that needs decluttering, and it's super just a disaster. A lot of us will put that off, and then we just add to it, and it gets worse and worse and worse and worse, and then it becomes a huge disaster area. So that is what I want to talk to you about today. And first things first, let's get started. I want you guys to get yourself in a cleaning mode, a motivated state. This is an episode for decluttering, so whatever area you need the most attention. If you don't have anything that needs to be decluttered, which I'm sure you probably do, but if you don't, then just work on a bonus chore. So whatever in your house that isn't part of your normal routine but needs extra attention, you guys can do that at this time. But I'm going to talk about organization. So get yourself ready for the day if that's what motivates you. Light a candle, throw your hair up in a bun. If it's just putting on the podcast, then you're already there. You're already motivated. Open up some windows. Let some light in your room. And once you guys are ready to go, I'm going to talk about getting started. So the hardest part of decluttering or organizing a disaster area is that initial anxiety and panic when you walk into the room and you don't know where to start because there's just stuff everywhere. And the reason why moving is fresh on my mind, and also nothing is more overwhelming than walking into your house and you just have boxes upon boxes of just stuff and you don't know where to start. And that's where we were the other day when I was helping my friend. She was like, I don't know where to start. I just need you here for emotional support. And I was like, okay, first things first, we need to get the big ticket items out of the way. So when I start decluttering a room, the first thing I want to do is I want to get big stuff or big items out of the way, out of my area, because it'll give the illusion of getting a lot done. And you want to, same thing when we're doing living areas and we start with like the focal points of the room, or get the big things out of the room first, or like pick up toys. It'll give the illusion that you're getting a lot of stuff done, and it'll motivate you, and it'll just get stuff out of the way. So in this case, she had a bunch of like trash and boxes. So I said, let's get all of the trash out of the house and all of the boxes, and let's go throw it away. So first things first would be gathering trash and big items and getting them out of your way and out of your space so you have room to work. And that's what we did. We just gathered up all of the trash from the entire house. We opened up a bunch of boxes, threw away all the trash that was in the... And trash doesn't mean just like garbage. She had stuff that she had moved over that didn't necessarily need to be, like, it was trash. It was stuff that she was never going to use again. And I suggest having an area right outside the room that you're working in to put a pile of donation or a bag of trash, stuff that you're throwing out that can't be reused. And the reason why I'm saying put it outside of the room or closet or where you're working with is so it's not adding to the clutter, and that's going to stress you out if you have, all these random piles going on in the area. So if you can, try to put the piles of stuff you're getting rid of outside of the room. That way it's not in your way and you're clearing a space in the room. Now, you can have your piles in whatever is more convenient for you, whatever you have on hand. You can have like different plastic bags for trash keeping or stuff you're donating, or you can have like a box of each thing. It really depends on how big of a mess you have and how big of a decluttering situation you have. And but I definitely 100% every time I'm decluttering, I just make piles, keeping, maybe getting rid of. Now, maybe piles are if you struggle with getting rid of stuff. Stuff that you're not sure about, put it in the maybe pile and go back and reevaluate it. And boxes are the best, I think, for this, is having different boxes for each thing because they're easy to carry and stuff. But if you struggle with holding on to stuff, definitely keep stuff in a maybe pile and then go back and think to yourself, have I used this in the last 3 months? Am I going to use this in the next 3 months? Is this a seasonal item that I'm going to use every year, or is it something that I just keep because I don't want to get rid of it? Is it sentimental, or am I just holding on to it because I don't like throwing stuff away? Those are questions you have to ask yourself. And the thing about the maybe pile is it'll help you move along faster because it's not as scary as just throwing stuff in a trash can. So you're just putting stuff in piles, and you're going to go back and look at those piles, and it'll help you move along faster. It'll help you clear the room faster. So I highly recommend that if you struggle with getting rid of things. Now, when I'm decluttering, after I get all of the initial trash, garbage, big things, items out of the way, the really obvious giant clutter out of the way, I like to do one specific area at a time. So say I'm going through clothing drawers. I will empty one drawer at a time, go put it in a pile, go through the drawer, put in piles what I'm getting rid of, what I'm keeping, what I'm donating, and then put the drawer back, and then I move on to the next drawer. And I leave the drawers empty, and I just have a keeping pile, and then once I'm done with the entire set of drawers, then I will put everything that's in my keeping pile back in the drawers in an organized way. But I just do one drawer at a time so it's not completely overwhelming, because if you just dump out all of your drawers in a giant pile, you're probably going to get discouraged, or you're just going to get overwhelmed, and then you're going to end up just leaving the clothes in a pile, or it's going to stress you out. So I just do one area at a time, completely take everything out of that one tiny area or section, depending on what you're doing. If you're doing rooms, bedrooms, clothing, whatever, just pick one area, completely take everything out, go through everything, and then once you're done with the whole section, put everything back that you're keeping. And if you're starting to put stuff back and you're like, wait, I have too many clothes still, I did not get rid of enough things, I don't have enough, because that's happened to me. I've gone through all my clothes, maybe kept some things that I probably shouldn't have, that I'm not going to use, but I have trouble holding on to stuff too, especially clothing. That's my area where I struggle with getting rid of stuff. So with clothing, if you're putting stuff back and you're like, wait, I still have too much stuff, because you can't properly organize things if you have too many things shoved in an area. You're not going to be able to keep that organized, because how are you going to find anything if everything's shoved in drawers that are filled to the brim? It's going to be really hard to keep that organized. So not only should your stuff match your space that you have, like if I don't have a lot of drawers, I will either get more drawers or take some clothes out and get rid of some clothes. And it's better to do the second one, but if you really can't get rid of anything and you just have too much stuff in a space, get more storage units, get more drawers, because the more we're stuffing things in drawers and filling stuff to the brim, and we don't have enough storage space, the easier it is for that space to get cluttered and disorganized and it to become a big mess all over again. And that's something I've really noticed with clothing, is because I told you it's an area I struggle in, and I noticed that whenever I have too many items shoved in drawers, and it doesn't matter how well I organize it, even if it's like long sleeve shirts, short sleeves, everything's completely organized, color coded, whatever. If it is too full, I get to where I'm just trying to make things fit, and I'm putting them in drawers that I'm not supposed to go in, and then things get disorganized really quickly, and it just becomes a big disaster area all over again. So I either get rid of enough clothing to where I'm not stuffing things, I can see everything. I'm hanging up a lot of items. I didn't used to be a big person that hangs things up, because a lot of my clothing doesn't get wrinkled, so I don't really feel the need to hang things up a lot, especially with kids' clothes. But especially when you have a small space and you don't have a lot of storage area, you really need to hang things up, even though it seems like it takes more time, and it's just kind of something you don't want to do. I don't really like hanging stuff up, but it really makes things easier to find. It really frees up a lot of space, and it really helps keep your stuff nice and organized. So another tip when organizing is, I don't want you guys to bite off more than you can chew. So that is why I say do one area at a time. That way if something comes up or you have to walk away from it, you don't just have this huge mountain of stuff that you were in the middle of going through. And it'll give you mini goals. So it's overwhelming when you walk into a big disaster area of a room, but if you give yourself little individual goals, like I'm just going to do these 3 drawers and then see where I'm at, then you're more likely to do more things, because after those 3 drawers, you're probably like, okay, I can do some more of this. I'm going to do 3 more. Okay, I'm going to do this closet too. You see what I'm saying? So if you set mini goals, you're more likely to do more things because you're not overwhelming yourself. And I know I'm going to sound like a broken record with this one, but it's super important, and it's something that it's the biggest part of decluttering, is a lot of stuff is going to get thrown away. Most likely, if you have an area that's super cluttered and disorganized, most of that stuff is going to be trash, because if you have an area that's just a disaster area, most likely you have not seen that stuff in a long time. You didn't even know you still had it anymore. It's been in a pile, in a closet, in the back of a box for months, sometimes years. So just think about that while you're making things organized and fixing stuff and getting rid of things. Think about how long it's been in that room for. How long has it been since you've seen that item? And if it has no sentimental value in it, and you're just, have it for no reason, get rid of it. Most of the stuff is going to get thrown out or donated, and that's okay. It's okay to let go every once in a while, and you'll feel so much better when you can walk through your space or find stuff in your space that you're organizing without any trouble. It will really motivate you, and it's going to make you happier. It'll brighten your mood, because you're not going to run into whatever area you're decluttering and just get depressed every time you see a big junk pile. Because that's what happens when you have a room that's a disaster or a closet that's a disaster. Every time you go get something out of that space or you walk past it, you're going to get sad, and you're going to think, man, I wish I could get to that. I'm so stressed out. I just don't have time. So just make time, small areas at a time, small things at a time. Get rid of all of the initial trash, clutter, big items first. Maybe there's furniture in there that you just don't need, that's taking up too much space in the room and making it look cluttered. Stuff like that. Get that out of the room first. So my next tip I have is have someone there with you. When you're doing a big project, sometimes, like my friend said, she just needed somebody to support her and to motivate her. She brought me over to the house for the purpose of keeping her company while she cleaned. So because she did that in her head, she brought me there to clean while I stayed there. So she was motivated to clean the entire time I was there because that's what she had told me she was going to do, and she wanted to stick to that. So that motivated her to keep cleaning and clean the house while I was there. And it put a fire under her, if you will, because she was trying to get it done while I was there because she wanted to clean while she had the company. So she was getting more done because I was there, because she wanted to get everything done while she had company, because she was more motivated to do it because she had someone to talk to. And honestly, if you have somebody, it doesn't matter if it's a kid, a spouse, a friend, that can just sit with you, whether they're helping or not. Sometimes just sitting and talking with you while you're decluttering is a big help and a big motivator, because you have someone there just keeping you company, and if you bring them there for the purpose of keeping you company while you organize a room, then you're going to try to get that room organized while they're there, and it's going to help you. And I'm going to go more in depth with this in a latter episode, but the last thing I want to address to you guys is keeping it organized once you're done going through things. Don't bite off more than you can chew was the last one, and this one I want you to think about keeping it organized. So after you are done with your project, the hardest part is keeping it organized after the fact. So how I want you to do that is I want you to consciously think every time you're putting stuff away in that room, think about how long it took to organize it. Think about all the trouble you went through and put things back where they go. Don't get lazy, because the second you get lazy one time, I'm just going to shove this in a drawer this time, next time I'm going to do it right. Once you start getting lazy about it, it takes longer and longer and longer, and then then we start doing it every time, and then eventually it's back to where we started. So I want you guys to consciously, every time you're putting stuff away, think about how long it took you to organize it and put the stuff away where it goes. And think about how you got to that point. If it's a closet and it became a disaster area because we were putting just miscellaneous things in there because you didn't know where to put the stuff and you were just shoving it in a closet, keep that in your mind and don't do that again. Don't do the things that brought you to that point. Say, you were using a room to store a bunch of stuff because you just didn't know where to put it. Just don't do that again. Next time you have an item and you don't know where to put it, don't go to your default of throwing it in that closet or that room, because that's how the room's going to get is going to become a disaster area again. So just be very aware of how you got to the point of it being a disaster, how long it took you to declutter it, and that you don't want to go back to that again. So you're going to work very hard in maintaining and putting stuff away where it goes, and not doing the bad habit of throwing things in the closet, in the drawer, in the room, and creating this big stressful mess for yourself. Because a lot of times we fall into patterns and we're used to just putting stuff in there, and it's become a bad habit. I know with me, it's just a habit of, I don't know, I'm in a hurry, I don't know where to put this stuff, I'm going to throw it in my closet. Well, that habit's going to lead to a big stressful couple day long decluttering session, and once I've thrown a bunch of things in my closet and it's a disaster area, you know what I'm saying? So just think about how your habits that led you to that point, and avoid those things after you're done decluttering. Definitely just take a look at yourself and think, what did I do to bring me to this point, and avoid doing those things. And I say this a lot, but just one last note: out of sight, out of mind. We want most things, anything that you can possibly put away behind a door, a dresser, we want to organize behind those things. But the more stuff we have out, the more cluttery the room's going to look. So definitely try to have enough storage space. If you don't have a lot of storage space in your house, get storage containers, organizing containers. And the more different containers you have, whether you're keeping those under the bed, if you have space under the bed, use that space. Get bins to put under your bed and separate, the stuff that you're storing and put it under the bed. The more stuff that we have out of sight and put away, the less cluttered and the rooms and space is going to feel, and the less stressed you're going to be. So get lots of storage units, storage bins. If you have a lot of stuff and you don't have anywhere to put it, and you don't have dressers, you don't have a lot of drawers, you don't have a lot of cabinet space, just create those spaces and get those storage bins and stuff so you can utilize that, because we don't want to just have piles of things out as decor in the room. We want it put away. So that's all I have for today. I hope you guys got something out of that. I hope you're going to tackle a big project today and get it done. If you do, I would love for you to share those with me. I love before and afters. If you're not a part of my Patreon family, I'll put the link for that in the description. And I thank you all that financially support me already. You guys are amazing. And I hope you get a lot of stuff done today. As always, happy cleaning.